Hi, I'm Melissa Ray, and I work as a park interpreter at Toltec Mounds Archeological State Park. So here we have Toltec behind me with our archaeological site that you can see and explore if you come out here on our trails. We have 3 remaining mounds, part of the archaeology here. We also have all the artifacts in the museum for you to see from this time period. So they were built around 650 to 1050 AD, which is over 1,000 years ago. It's really cool to connect yourselves to all of the people that came before you. These are the people of the past, right? And they're still around today. American Indians have a living history, a culture, and we're going to talk about one of those main cultural items that they still have, which is a turtle shell rattle. We find these in archaeology throughout the Southeastern United States, and we're going to make these turtle shell rattles, but out of our own household materials today. So this program is going to be about 5 minutes long. It's going to explore American Indian history through rattle making. So let's get started. The rhythm of rattle making. The rhythmic sound of these rattles, they're very simple to recreate, but they're deep in its meaning. So we have music. We have music of today, we have music of the past, but music is a thing that can be universally meaningful. So whether it brings you joy, whether you shed a few tears, whether you think it's a good or a bad song, people have their own opinions, but regardless, music always makes you feel something, right? So back then, these people weren't very different from us. They had music and they celebrated with it, they brought joy with it. People got excited and pumped just like we do today. And rattles were part of their ceremonies. So think of weddings and birthday parties and all of these things that we have today. We play music during. And to feel something, to honor things, they would have used rattles back then. So it's universally meaningful in that it transcends cultures, time frames, centuries, generations. All people feel something when they listen to music. So we're going to make our own music today, but to create this meaningful music from rattles, you have to know what they used back then for their rattle making, right? So they actually used very simple materials to create this meaning for them. They used a stick, they used some animal leather to tie it all together, and you can actually find turtle shells by lakes, by rivers, that kind of thing back then. They would have gone on the lake shore here at Toltec and seen tons of red-eared slider turtles. You can still see red-eared sliders here today. They're these turtles that have these little red spots by their ears, and they're super cute. You can come out and see them. They're really cool to look at during the summer along our boardwalk. So that's actually seeing the thing itself that they would have seen back then. These turtle shells are very precious items, but they're simple to find, right? So you take it and then you make the rattle sound by putting beans or pebbles or rice or anything you can find at your house, like beads, into these, and then you get to play them. So very simple to recreate, very deep in their meaning to people. So I'm going to go along today and I'm going to show you how to make your own turtle rattle. And what we're going to use are also simple materials. Just like them, we're going to take a lesson from them, and we're going to find stuff around, instead of in nature, in our houses. So you guys have probably seen a lot of these lately, right? Takeout containers. They're also called aluminum pie pans, but if you have smaller paper plates, they will work in the same way. This is going to be our shell, so to speak. We're going to have a piece of paper, and maybe some cardboard if you have it at your house, some scissors, crayons, and glue. Okay, so get all those materials ready. If you're going to be using scissors or glue, make sure you have parents to supervise you. Okay, we want to be careful while we're having fun. So we're going to get our paper out, and I'm going to have these linked, but they're going to look a little bit like this. Okay, with a turtle drawn on them. And you can see that I've kind of colored my turtle. The best thing is step 1, you don't have to color in the lines, okay? You can take a green crayon if you want to make it look like the red-eared sliders of Toltec. But you can make it any color you want, really, because it's your turtle. It's supposed to be meaningful to you, right? So I'm just going to take it. You can color outside the lines. You're going to color your turtle. You don't actually have to color the inside of the circle. That's going to be eventually covered up by the shell. See? So you don't have to do that. You just color the feet, the head. But if you want to color in here, it's okay. It's yours. So you get that done, and then you start to cut it out. You get your scissors, you cut along the black lines here. You don't have to make it perfect. At the end of that, it'll look something like this. Okay, I added eyes and a smiley face because go crazy, alright? You're going to take your cardboard, if you have it, and you're going to place it like so. And you're going to glue it on here. I recommend using something other than a glue stick. So either Elmer's glue or hot glue. And if you're using hot glue, let an adult do it for you, okay? Because that can be a little dangerous at times, okay? So be safe. So you're going to take your pie pan, and then here comes the fun part. You're going to get to take your beads or your rice or your beans, and you're going to put it in here to make that rattle sound. So the less you put, the actual louder it is, somewhat. So I'm going to just put 2 pinches of each, and you'll see that makes a pretty loud sound, okay? So the noise is what we want. You're actually going to take your hot glue or Elmer's glue, put it along the rim, okay? Then if you have cardboard, put it on there. And then this is the important part. If you're taking the paper and putting it directly on there, make sure that no matter what, you have your feet pointed down, okay? So you want it to look like this when you turn it over. So you're going to want these facing up, okay, with your shell. So that's how you make it. A little tip, if you have binder clips or paper clips, you can actually let the glue dry and put that on there so it'll set better. But the last step is just to be patient. These people back then, the American Indians, they were very patient with everything that they did. Sometimes they got impatient, I'm sure, because we're all people, right? We have things in common, despite the time differences. But this takes a lot of patience to make one of these. So let your glue dry before you start to play with it, or else if you play your rattle, the rice and the beans will come out the sides. So you'll want to make it really tight, okay? And let it dry for, let's say, 30 minutes to an hour before you play with it. And if you want, you can actually go back, and these parts of the shell are called scutes. And on each different scute, if you want to paint those or marker those, you can. And then it'll make your rattle look even better. So here's my rattle that I've made. I colored the bottom as well. You can do that. But I hope you followed along with the craft. I hope you enjoyed it. And just now that you've made your own rattle and understand that it's simple to recreate, but very deep in its meaning to people throughout time, through its musical quality, I challenge you to connect yourselves further to American Indian history, research Native American instruments like gourds, like deer hoof rattles. All sorts of things are available to you if you just try. So if you come to Toltec, you can visit our gift shop. We actually have a version of these for sale. They're wood-carved turtles, and we have gourds. We have lots of things here. So come visit, and if you do, and you've made a rattle, make sure that you bring it with you so that we can play together, okay? Because then we could create a song, maybe. If you create a song, you can put the lyrics on #ArkansasStateParks. We'd love to see those. And I hope that you guys have a great day. Just remember, the rhythm of rattle making is very fun. American Indian history is still very much alive, and I hope you guys enjoy connecting to it. So, thank you for watching.